Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. And this time we're taking a look at the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Megatron. And this is from Hasbro from 2009. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the figure. Alright, so taking a look at this guy. So he is definitely a big, bulky figure. Some people like this guy, some people don't. He definitely has some flaws in some major areas, but as far as when this movie came out, and even until today, he is the best looking and film accurate leader class Megatron from the movie series that we have. I definitely love this figure. Megatron is my favorite Transformer character of all time, and I love the movie versions of him. I wish they would just put him more in the plot, and do a little bit more with him. But I mean, as far as the toy, this is a really fantastic toy. So the first thing that when I look at it is you have one gigantic beefy arm, and you have this almost like a gimp arm. This little gimp arm is absolutely ridiculous. I really wish they would have made it a little nicer. They have it where it's can close up and stuff, but it's kind of gimpy. And then you have this gigantic cannon arm. This cannon basically rotates. Now this toy, the batteries are dead. Basically, he did a lot of things where if you pulled this tab down, his head would move and you say, "I am Megatron." When you moved his arm, every click would make a noise. And then if you shot the missile, it would make a noise. Basically, from storing him in there and just stuff laying on the gun, I didn't take the gun off his body. The batteries died. And I haven't been able to figure out how to replace them if you can. So as far as the gun's concerned, I mean, he's got a nice gun on his arm that has a little button here that you can actually shoot the missile out. We'll shoot that guy off. He just flies off. So not too bad. Then it's also got this little tab up here, and you pull up, and it kind of launches that finger forward. And that kind of works a little bit more when you actually detach this top section and you do the claw arm, which I like the best. Even though it's huge, it almost touches the ground. I do like that claw arm. Alright, so, and then as we come to the back, you can see he's got a little jet propulsor. And then I really like the way they did his legs. He's like how he walked on this tread. They do have a little piece you can flip down to complete the transformation. That's supposed to be like his toes, but I think it looks stupid. But as far as articulation, his arm rotates here and rotates here. That's it. There's no other articulation at all. I really feel that this figure would be much better if it had a little bit of articulation like right here. But I mean, this arm moves, you can do all kinds of stuff with this guy. No waist articulation. I mean, his head kind of moves and you can move it with this. That's really it. And then his legs do move pretty good. I mean, you got some good articulation in this guy. So I mean, you can definitely, stretch him out and have him do some crazy poses if you chose to do that. So you could do some cool stuff with this guy. There's a closer look at his face. You can kind of see what he looks like in his chest section. This has a nice little Decepticon logo here, and you pull this down. This is where you make lights and sounds, say, "I am Megatron." You can see he kind of moves here, which is a pretty cool feature. And here's that skinny gimp arm. Like I said, it is just, it is tiny. It just looks funny. These fingers don't bend, but this guy does fold up where he can be like he's kind of gripping something, which is pretty cool. I like that he can do that. You could probably, if you had a gun with a small enough handle, you could even have him hold a gun in that hand. And here's that claw part, which I really like. Like I said, you can fold this up, and there's a little tab here you just pull up, and it does shoot out, which is cool. It doesn't really lock in place real well, but you can see basically the way I have his legs, I mean, it's touching the ground right now, which is kind of weird. You can pull this, and I'll kind of zoom out a little bit and readjust the camera, but you can disconnect this right here and fold this up. So he's got that kind of shoulder hook he had in the movie, which is pretty cool, but not too bad. And there you can see the tread on his feet. So I really like the tread. Like I said, he's got this weird fold down toe that you can do. I think that looks stupid. And if we go to this side, you can see how he actually stands on his tread. I really think that's cool. It's pretty movie accurate when it comes to that. I mean, this figure is for the most part movie accurate, but it's got a little bit of quirks. So overall, a really good robot mode version of Megatron, much better than the original. It's more movie accurate than the original one was. The original one had chunks of parts hanging off all over the place. So this was much better. Like I said, he's just got this gigantic arm that has very little articulation and this basically like gimp arm, which is kind of unfortunate. But everything else looks really good. I love the way he looks. But let's get this guy transformed. So the first thing I do when I transform is I take this missile out. It just seems to fly off all the time. And then I disconnect his arm just by popping it off here. And there's another peg back here. It's on this tiny little swivel thing right here. This piece right here seems to just detach real easy. So, I mean, it happens all the time. Don't feel bad. But I get that out of the way right away. Also, when you're storing him, if you have the battery power, if you take this off when he's in robot mode, that rotation right here is what makes the sound. So you can actually help save batteries. That's what I forgot to do. So you want to pop his back off and pull it out like this. And then you take his arm and you're going to detach it right here. You want to make sure the joint, this piece right here, is facing downward. And you want to fold this guy up. And you want to basically fold his arm in, and there's a tiny tab right here where this tab right here tabs into. And it basically, his arm looks like that, which is kind of silly looking, but that's what you'll do. Then you'll come over to the front and you can fold Megatron's head up. And then you're going to take these tabs up right here, and then you rotate these. This is the front of the tank, and it's supposed to block his face a little bit. It really doesn't. It looks kind of silly, but that's basically what you want to do. Next thing you want to do is you want to detach his legs. They are right here. Sometimes this joint is really tight to pull off, and I just got it right there. So he's detached right there. You want to do that for both of them. And like I said, mine tabbed in really hard, so there we go. So we got them all tabbed in like that. And then we're going to rotate his legs. Basically, when they're out, you want to rotate the whole legs together, rotate downward. And you want to rotate them down like that. And then what you do is you can bring this guy up, and there's a tab right here that can tab into. I gotta remember how to get him in there. This tab tabs in really tightly to there, and you do that for the same thing on this side. I gotta remember where it is. There it is. Get that. It likes to fall out. Come on, there. And there's tabbed in. So he's tabbed in like that. So the next step is you want to take this little back section right here, and you want to pop it down, and there's a little tab right here that tabs in right here. You push that in, it pops into place. Then what you want to do is you want to bring this back, and there's a tab right here. You want to rotate this, and there's a tab right here that it connects to. And sometimes you have to push really hard to get this tab to lock into. You can hear the snap that goes on there. So same thing, you want to pull this back. The tab is right there, and then you want to rotate, and this leg keeps on popping off, but I'm going to move these pieces out of the way, and you want to tab it in to that tab. I'll try and see if I can even show it while I do that. There, and it pops into place. And sometimes my one joint right here is pretty loose, but you can pop it back in right like that. And obviously if your arm fell off for the cannon, you just want to pop it back into place, and then there is a tab that goes in and clips on right there. So this thing can still, when it's up, it can still rotate, but then you actually lock it into place just like that. And then obviously to make it look a little better, you do want to have this folded back like I had it, and then this pulled back like this, and then put the missile in, and then you fold these pieces down just like that. And then you have this Cybertronian tank mode. Alright, so taking a look at the alt mode. So this is the Cybertronian tank, and overall it looks really good. I mean, he does use this mode in the movie, so it's fairly accurate for the most part, which I do like. I love the treads. This guy does roll fairly decent. He's definitely hefty. One of the pieces I hate on this guy is this, you know, I don't even really know where these go, or if they face forward or backwards. They kind of just hang out, even in robot mode. But as far as the tank's concerned, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, obviously, if you push this button during tank mode, he lights up, and then he actually had red lights down here that actually would light up. But unfortunately, the batteries have died, which is actually not that bad of a thing, because this would have made this review a lot more irritating, because anytime you move certain joints, he goes off, and it's kind of irritating. There's no on and off switch. But you can, if you pop the gun up, which I'm trying to do without pulling it off, I'll shoot the missile off, you can pop this up, and if it's elevated, you can rotate the gun, but that's the only time you can rotate the gun. It's typically just locked into place. We'll put the missile back. Looking at it from the front, you can see Megatron's face. I wish they would have done a better job hiding that. That does look kind of silly, but I mean, that's this right here, these little pieces are supposed to hide it, and it doesn't do a very good job. And from the back, I do like the look of it, the thruster look, but overall, really big, really bulky looking alt mode. Just for size comparison on the alt modes, here we have the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime, probably the best movie Optimus Prime we have, and also one of the most difficult Transformers to transform. This leader class is super easy to transform. This is like you have to take an engineering class. I mean, it's definitely difficult to do, especially if you don't have the directions. Good luck. But you can see the size. I mean, they're pretty big. This guy is, you know, gigantic compared to them, but you can definitely see them side by side, but not bad. Not a bad alt mode. Like I said, Megatron, you know, in the first and second movie didn't have any kind of, you know, car or anything to change into, but not too bad. And finally, for size comparison, here we have the original Transformers movie Megatron next to the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. You can definitely see this guy looks much more streamlined. And the funny thing is, you look at him by himself, he doesn't look so. And then when you look at the original one, you're like, wow, they did a great job. I mean, what a transition from these two. Now, I haven't done a review of this guy. Eventually, I'll do a review of this guy, hopefully soon. And then I'll do a comparison between the Megatrons, but I'm probably going to wait for that until they release the new Last Night Megatron, so I can kind of do like the evolutions of the Megatron comparison. So I did that with Optimus Prime going up to the Age of Extinction. But I mean, as you can see, look at the pieces. I mean, they couldn't even find a place to put the pieces. Look at that backpack. I mean, he's so ridiculous. I mean, it's hard for him to even stand. He leans back. He's got these gigantic pieces on his arm. I mean, he's got these huge wings that fold up. Engineers definitely failed on that guy. But as you can see, moving on to the next movie, there is a great progression and evolution, which is fantastic to see that. And like I said, Megatron is my favorite character in Transformers, you know, cartoon and the movies. And I do love this look of Megatron. And I love this figure. This is the best, well, the only version that looks really good of the movie class in the leader class. I mean, they're the Voyager of the Revenge of the Fallen is really good as well. But I love leader class figures. They're probably my favorite. I love the big, gigantic Transformers. But fantastic Transformer figure. And once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.